hickory-dickory-dock. Time to beat the clock. Time for fun has now begun. Let's all play Beat the Clock.
Beat the Clock is brought to you by Sylvania. For half a century, a quality name in incandescent bulbs, fluorescent tubes and fixtures, photo lamps, radio and television sets, radio and television tubes, and electronic devices. Yes, for homes, offices, schools, and factories, Sylvania.
Let's all play Beat the Clock.
Now, here he is, America's #1 clock watcher, Bud Collyer.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Beat the Clock, the show where you can have the time of your life playing against time for big-time prizes. Now a very pleasant trip over to our contestant stand to re-meet our two contestants from last week. How are you?
How do, Bob?
Nice to see you again. Mr. and Mrs. E. Joseph Forstrom, F-O-R-S-T-R-O-M. Joe, how are you?
Fine, man.
What's the E stand for?
Keep that a secret.
Oh, you're not going to let that go, huh? Probably something like Egbert that you don't like or something like that. What do you do, Joe?
Sales correspondent. For
And you had a anniversary last time?
Last
Sunday, that's right. Well, many happy returns of it again, even though we got a chance to last week. You had beaten the $100 clock, and we're about to go on to the 200 when time ran out. In fact, we'd started it, I believe, hadn't we?
Right.
Did you get a chance to practice at home?
A little.
Did you?
Yeah.
And, of course, we had a very exciting time last week when that fella knocked off that bonus stunt. The thing with the cups, you know, and the tea doll and swinging the thing back and forth. Did it in about 7 or 8 seconds. I don't know how many of you saw it happen. It was worth $900. We found out that he and his brother-in-law had built one of these things as near as they could to the size they thought it might be, practiced like mad for a couple of weeks at home, got tickets to the show. On the chance that either one of them might get on, they made a deal between them that if either one got on, they'd split it if they won it. Well, not only did he have to get past that hurdle, but we didn't know when the bell was going to ring even. So he all those chances worked in his favor, and he did it just so simply and easily. We got a new one tonight. Oh, boy. We got a new one tonight. And it starts off at $100, of course, and that can hit you or anybody during our show. We don't know when. But right off the bat, now let's get you going on that little stunt we had you on last week with a $200 clock. Mr. and Mrs. Forstrom of Riverton, New Jersey, if you'll both come over here with me. Thank you, Betty. Now, if you remember, Joe, I think you had a hold of this end of the rope right here, didn't you? Hold it, start right up close to the tape there. You do the same thing back here. That's the idea. Now, down at the bottom here, we have put little red balloons just to show you, the audience, when you get near the spot. That's your stopping spot right there. And what you have to do when I say go is, with these cups and saucers balanced on top of that square up there, I'll get it centered there, if I think that's about right, you have to slide your one hand, using only the one hand, slide it back down the rope on both ends so that you wind up against those little balloons down there. When you get to that, we'll stop the clock and you'll beat the clock. Take a look again. You'll see how many seconds you had last week and still have this. 55 seconds. Are you ready? Go. Come on, at the same time, you got to move back. Come on. Keep that rope tighter. Keep the rope tighter. I'm warning you. If you don't, it'll go. Keep the rope tighter. He's there. You better get back there now. You've only got about 25 seconds. Keep it tighter, boy. Keep it tighter. Both of you pull against each other a little more. Pull against each other. That's it. Now go on back. Go on back. You're doing fine. All right. Stop the clock. Good for you. Well, I don't know where you're getting it. It's so slack there. It's moving back and forth. I get me worried. Well, you see, the girls didn't care. You didn't break any dishes, so they just threw them down on the floor in the wings and broke them anyway. However, that moves you up now, and it's your turn to try for our jackpot clock. That's kind of tradition on our show. The wife always takes over and carries on, and we'll see what we can do with you in just a minute or two. But first, Miss Forstrom, now comes the jackpot try by your wife. Joe, you can't help in any way, so if you don't mind stepping down over there, I'm going to ask your pretty wife to step back here on this little platform. She will. Then turn around and face the audience, and don't turn back again until I tell you to look, okay? Back of you now is our famous jackpot board. On it are all of the words of a famous saying or quotation. They're all mixed up. You got to get them unmixed so that they spell out, reading from left to right, just like a sentence would read, the saying or quotation we're after in 20 seconds from the time I say go. And don't look till I tell you to. Open the curtain. Turn around, take a look. Go. Seconds. am sorry you didn't beat that one. Let me show you what it was. It's a quotation from Hamlet, and it goes, "This above all, to thine own self be true." This above all, to thine own self be true. But, Joe, come on back in here with your wife, because you nevertheless have beaten our $200 clock, which is that much better than when you went out last week. Let's see what you've won. Just take a look.
And here is your prize, the sensational Kenmore infrared range, one of the most beautiful and modern ranges in America. With a Kenmore, sold exclusively by Sears Roebuck & Company, you will actually cook with infrared rays, harnessed by the amazing Sylvania Instant Heat Cooking Unit. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Forsstrom. You have just won a Beat the Clock prize worth more than $200.
My congratulations to you, too. It certainly was nice having you back, and lots of good cooking with your new stove. Bye. Well, looky who we got here. Welcome back.
Thank you, Bud.
How
I'm
are
so
you,
happy to
Roxanne?
be back.
Boy, we're happy to have you back,
Yes.
too. Who we got now?
We have Mr. and Mrs. Robert Throckmorton from Rockville, Maryland.
Well, thank you very much. Hello, Bob. How are you? Miss Throckmorton, how are you? Nice to have you here with us. We got you all dressed up ahead of time there, didn't we? One of our coveralls. Rockville, Maryland. What is that near, Bob?
Well, it's about 10 miles outside of D.C.
And what do you do for a living?
I work for the government,
What sort of work?
the Department of Defense.
Department of Defense you work in? Wow, that's a pretty important department these days, I'll tell you.
Yes, it is.
You've been married 6 years, I see. You have 2 children, a boy and a girl. How old is the little girl?
She's soon be 4.
She'll soon be 4 years old? Well, bless my soul. How about, would you like to take home one of our Roxanne dolls to her?
You love one.
Roxanne, bring out one of those dolls, will you? You got one handy there? There we are. There it is. I want to show you a little camera, you see. It really works. See there? It flashes on and it really works. and she walks, too. Show 'em how she walks. See there? See her little head turn when she walks? And her eyes blink. Is she cute? That's for her. We'll have it backstage for you. Give it to her with our best love, will you? All right. Now, Bob, let's move you and your wife into a position here, and they'll show you why you look so short back there, because we've taken your shoes off you. Come on out here, if you will, both of you, on the $100 clock. Now, I'm going to ask you, if you will, Mrs. Throckmorton, to lie down on your back. If you will, please, right there. That's right. With your head on that pillow. And you lie down on your back here with your head on this pillow. That's the idea. There we are. You can move a little closer to your wife if you want to. That's it. I want to keep you cozy here. Now, here is a pair of large woolen socks for you. And here's a pair of large woolen socks for you. See? Now, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to keep one hand on the floor at all times. I don't care which one it is, but keep one hand on the floor at all times. With the other hand, and using only that hand, you are to put these socks not on your feet, but on your husband's feet. And you do the same thing with your wife's feet. I'll slip these little mules off for you there, so they'll be free. You can slip these off here, and I'll take a look at the clock and see how many seconds you have to do it. 55 seconds. I understand the problem. One hand remains out of play at all times. With the other one, you can use either one you want. You've got to raise your feet up, of course, help her, and you've got to raise your feet up and help him. And keep your heads on the pillows. You understand the problem? 55 seconds. Are you ready? Go. Come on. Hurry up. You're doing fine. Hurry up. One hand there. One hand. Come on. Hurry up. Get it on the foot. Get it on the foot. All right. Stop the clock. Good. Take it off. Do it. I love it. Keep going there. They look fine. Oh, dear. We had another way of doing that, but I, on a hunch, sort of tried this on it. I think it worked out so much better. All right. Now, by the way, you're going to move up to the $200 clock with the next one, and it's a way I do not advise you on a cold winter's morning to put each other's socks on. Do it the old way. It's really much better. Incidentally, I don't know if you know about the junior achievement organizations all over the country. They've grown very, very strongly in the last several years, especially, in which youngsters take over with the help of grown-ups, people in business. They learn to run their own businesses. They learn how to handle money and how to invest it and how to get a return from their investment on any kind of business level. And it's a wonderful thing that it does. It educates them to take over later on in life when they do it. And you people can invest in their little businesses, and they pay an actual return for the money invested and things like that. It's a terrific organization and idea. If it hasn't started in your community, I suggest you look into it, because it's a wonderful thing to have happen out there, and they're trying to get it all started now so it can run through a regular, normal fiscal year. So if you haven't done it, go to it in your own community. If you have, good luck to you in another wonderful year. Junior Achievement, it's a great, great activity. All right, Miss... Hi, the bonus! comes up for you, the brand new bonus. Come on out here, fella, in your white socks. All right, girls, bring out the bonus, please. Now, what's it going to be, huh? What's it going to be? Now, this is something that you folks can practice at home very simply. Very simply. I want to show you what it consists of. Just 2 ordinary chairs. This doesn't have to be a fancy back chair, just anything with the round rungs like that, you see, and a wooden chair, I'd suggest. And we have here a little paper cup, in which we've taken the bottom out of it, you see? See there? We've tied it on about, maybe 2.5 feet of string and about a foot-long little stick here that you hold at the end. You notice we've fastened it to one side of the bottom with some tape. There it is tied on there. Now, the problem is simply this. Holding this only with the one hand like that. You right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
You're right-handed, okay. You have to get this paper cup on this leg so the leg comes on through the bottom. I don't care how far up you get it, as long as some leg shows through and it stays there. Do you understand? But, of course, you can't put it on that way. You got to just kind of put it on this way. You see, you kind of maneuver that thing on there and just kind of slide that paper cup on there. Get the idea? All right, take the doll from me. Take a look and see how many seconds you have. 50 seconds for $100 bonus. Are you ready? Go. You have to remain behind this end of the chair. Oh, golly, I'm sorry, boy. You came close to it there a few times. But a good try, a good try. Oh, that's a sneaker, isn't it, huh? It isn't really. It's just one of those things, you know. Your nerves got to be kind of careful. And, boy, you came awful close to it there. Well, it'll be worth $200 next week for somebody. I don't know. And, of course, that still doesn't mean you lose out because you still go on to your $200 clock. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Robert Throckmorton of Rockville, Throckmorton. I'm getting kind of tangled up there, aren't I? Well, now, how about you both coming over with me because we have a little problem for you. Do you do much baking at home?
Quite a bit.
And frosting cakes and things? Putting cherries on top of the frosting? What's the matter, Bob? You getting a little concerned, are you? Huh?
I know what's coming.
What do you think is coming?
Pie.
Pie? Well, you could what'd you say? You're warmer than he is, yes. So will you both come over here with me, please? Let's bring out our little pastry kitchen here, shall we? There we are. What a float that would make in the Rose Bowl parade. All right. I think, as a matter of fact, in this case, we can move it right about there. All right, would you step up there, sir, and take your glasses off? I think you might swell. Can I keep them for you? I'll put them right in my pocket, and then I'll give them to you right after. There we are. All right, you just lie down, boy. You're going to lie down and have a good time here. Relax. Enjoy the show. That's what we want you to do. Just enjoy the show. Put that shower cap on. That's the idea. There we go. Now, you just lie down. I think we move that pillow back a little bit, if you will, please, Betty. Come back up here a little. You can't see well. A little further back, if you will. Come on, quite a ways back. You just back up, back up. There, that's much better. Okay, good. Now, your problem is simply this. In this little pie plate here, you want to step up so you can watch it, Miss Throckmorton? This little pie plate here, we're going to put little paper pie plates that are full of whipped cream, you see. So you were more right than he was. They'll fit in there. Now, you notice this thing can swivel and can tip either way, see? So you got to be kind of careful of that thing. Also, if you're very careful, you can balance it. You see, it will kind of sit there. That's like that, see, if you're careful. But it slides a little weight too much one way or the other, it'll go. All right, so we're going to place one of those in there. Put one in, will you please? Now, hold it, Betty. Don't let go of it until we're ready. Here's a stick for you. And I'm going to ask you to support that tin only by under the lip of the tin. You can't go way underneath like that, but just under the edge. While holding it there, after Betty lets go of it, you reach over here carefully, pick up one of these red ping-pong balls, get yourself back over here, and put it in the whipped cream. Do that without it falling off. We'll stop the clock, and you'll beat the clock. Got the idea? All right. Let's take a look at the clock. See how many seconds you have. You have 40 seconds from the time I say go. Are you ready? All right, get it balanced now. Get it set. And don't forget, if you're careful, it may stay there. You may be able to balance it without any trouble. Got it? Have you got it? All right, Betty, let go. Oh, you didn't have it. All right, put another one on quick. Put another one on. That's it. See, you tipped too far there. Now, be careful. Just get it resting on the edge of that there. Now, have you got it? Betty, let go very gingerly this time. Ah! Oh, no! Heaven's sake. All right. See if you can't get it balanced here. That's the idea. Come on, lean it forward a little bit, Betty. That's it. That's it. That's it. All right, now go. Let go of it. Go. Oh, no, a third one. Come on, get another one. Quick like a bunny. Okay. Get it set. Go. Oh, for heaven's sake. Now, don't press up on it like that. See if you can't get it balanced now. See if you can't get... Now, wait a minute. I'll tell you what. I'm going to help you. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to help you. I'm going to see if I... Let go of it, Betty. I'm going to see if I can get it balanced for you now. All right. There it is now. Now, careful. Now, careful. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You just try and get it there without it falling. All right. Stop the clock. All right. Good enough. We'll get him all cleaned up for you. He'll be all right. Good as new when you get him back. What's the matter? What's the matter, Miss Throckmorton, huh? Huh?
I've always wanted to do that.
What? Wait a minute. What did you say?
I've always wanted to do that.
You've always wanted to do that. You see, that happens all the... I want to tell you something. This is the first time we've ever had one of those happen where the guy got all that stuff on him before the stunner even started. I hadn't even said go, and he had 4 pies in his face. You're a little over-anxious there. All right, Miss Throckmorton, it's your turn now. Will you step up on this little platform? And comes now our jackpot clock. That's it. Face the audience and don't turn around till I tell you to, please. In back of you is our jackpot board with all the words of a famous saying or quotation, but they're all mixed up. Get them unmixed. Get them back in order in 20 seconds from the time I say go. I'll tell you when to look. Open the curtain. Now, wait just a minute. Don't look yet, because I'm going to move some of these letters down here. They're a little high for you, because you're kind of a little tiny there, and I don't want you to get reaching beyond your height. Okay, are you ready? Go. Turn around, take a look. Just put them anywhere, huh? Oh, golly, you just missed out on. You were so close. It should just have been up here. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Oh, golly, you were so close. The 2 ofs were all that threw you. Come on back down here. Because you've beaten our $200 clock, so let's look and see what you've won.
Your prize also is the amazing Kenmore Infraray range, sold exclusively by Sears Roebuck & Company. The range that cooks your meals perfectly with infrared rays by means of Sylvania's instant heat cooking unit. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Throckmorton. You have just won a Beat the Clock prize worth more than $200.
My congratulations to you, too. Happy cooking to you. Now, Roxanne, whom do we have now?
Roxanne, do you mind if I horn in for just a minute? Ask Rox if I could. I was reading a fine article in Radio and TV Mirror, June issue, and it's about man with an open mind. Turns out to be Bud Collyer.
Yes,
so
it's very sweet.
I wanted to tell people about it and show them the cover so that anyone who wants can get it, and I recommend it.
Can't get one in this neighborhood. I bought them all up. Thank you very much, Bill. Now, Roxanne, can we have our next contestants?
Bud, we have Mr. and Mrs. Dan Kramer from New Orleans.
Well, hi there. How are you? How are all the pralines down there, huh?
Oh, just
I
fine.
never ate anything tastier in my life than those pralines from New Orleans. What do you do down there, Dan?
I'm a pilot for National Airlines.
You're a pilot for National. How many hours have you logged up there?
Oh, I'd say about 2,600.
Wow, that's pretty good. How long have you been with him?
I've been with National since 1943, although I've been flying since 1951.
No kidding. What got you over into the flying side of it?
Well, I've been trying to fly for years, and they finally had an opening for me.
Oh, you've had the intention, wanted to, and they just didn't have an opening on the list. Is that it?
I didn't have
what
enough
did you
hours.
do before you got married, Miss Kramer?
I was a social worker.
You were? Whereabouts?
In New Orleans.
And you're married 2 years this August, I see by your card. Well, happy anniversary several months ahead of time, in case I don't see you then. Now, let's get into your problems here. We have a little thing that may help you a great deal with problems in the kitchen, because, you know, it's kind of hard sometimes to get all the stuff you want tucked away. And with a little cooperation, you'll be surprised at what you can do. Will you both come over here with me? This is on the $100 clock. Now, here is what we are considering a large kitchen cabinet, you see. It's just a big old cabinet that you've decided to stow a lot of groceries in. For some strange reason known best to you, your husband has decided he can help best if he gets in the closet and you hand everything into him. So if you will step in the closet, please, Dan. You want to get all of these items in the closet with your husband and close the door on the whole kit and caboodle, and we'll stop the clock and you'll beat the clock. What's the matter?
He's so big.
Are you so big? Hey, where's his head? Where'd he go there? Boy, you're flying blind, aren't you, huh? Yeah. Oh, listen to his voice in there. It's wonderful. Say it again.
I'm up in the clouds or something.
The bottom of a bathtub is where he is. Okay, now, I'm going to make it real simple for you. Get everything out here on the floor. Have it all handy. All right, get them back in the file here. I'll take a look at the clock first and tell you when to start. 55 seconds. Are you ready? Go. Get them in there. Just fast. Hand them to her. Hold them. Reach down and help her. Go on. Don't stack them. Just get them in there. Pull the pile in. Scoop them in there. Quite do it. No, you got a couple of... Roxanne, come on, take a picture, will you? Yeah, I guess you can. You can come out. Okay. Here we are. Oh, I almost dropped the prize here. Here is a little gift for you. I'm awfully sorry you didn't beat the clock. As a matter of fact, you won't take any of those groceries home with you. Help yourself. But thanks for being such good sports. And sorry you didn't beat the clock. It's too late, Roxanne. I'm sorry I called you earlier. Okay, good night to you. Thank you very much for being such good sports. Oh, boy. All right, that means, of course, they got the nice little Sylvania radio. I'm sorry they didn't stuff the cabinet in time. Well, who have we got now, Roxanne?
We have Mr. and Mrs. Theodore Corey from Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Well, hi there, Corey family. How are you? How are you, Mr. Corey?
Pretty good.
You have children? You have two children, I see. How old are they?
One's 17 and one 2.
Are they here with you tonight?
No, they're not.
They're not. Are they watching at home, you suppose?
Well, one's in Florida and the other one's home.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to wave at this camera here that Jay is presiding over, go ahead, wave so they know you're looking at them. That's the idea. All right, now we're going to have a problem for you on the $100 clock in just a very... let's see. We have a $100 clock problem for you. Do you have candles at home in little candelabra around the house? Most housewives do. Sometimes use them on the table, you know. And sometimes it's a problem if you have a candlestick somewhere where you just can't get the candle in. You know, it's hard to reach from where you are. So we've evolved a whole new way of putting the candle in without injuring the candle, and, you know, especially when it's in an out-of-the-way place. So if you both come over here with me, I'll show you what your problem entails. How's fishing, all right? Good. Now, would you have a seat on this stool, please, Miss Corey? Boy, that's a nice fish line we have there, isn't it? Take a hold of that in both hands, if you will, and I want you to reach out as far as you can without falling off that stool. Straighten your arms right out. I want to see if I have this placed in about the right place. I think your arms are a little shorter. We can move that in just a little bit for you there. That's the idea. Okay. Now, your problem is simply this, and your part of it is this. You are to stand behind your wife, put your arm around her, which shouldn't be hard for you to take. Go ahead, put your arm around her. You're to support her, hold her any way you can, around her waist so that she won't fall off this stool and the stool won't tip with her. Meantime, you are to get this candle in the candlestick, like that. Get the idea? Now, this is on a fish pole and also an elastic band. I'll take a look over your shoulder and see how many seconds you have. 55. And, Mr. Corey, if you want to give her advice, you go right ahead and give her advice. Are you ready? Go. Hey, look at there! Right, Kelly, no time at all. Very nicely done, too. Bringing you through the $100 clock and up to the $200 clock. Good enough. Now, have you ever played the well-known game of badminton? You know what a badminton bird is, do you? It's a little thing with little feathers out of it. You throw through the air, and it goes through because one end is weighted a little more than the other. Well, we have a problem for you in like badminton. If you both come over here with me on the $200 clock, I'll show you what it is. Thank you, Madeline. Now, you, sir, if you will stand back of this little line. You don't have to, Miss Corey. And hold this tray on the flat of your one hand. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Whichever you want to hold it in. This is just an ordinary paper cup. and you can't touch it with the other hand or the tray unless you have to straighten it up. Meantime, your wife... Bless my soul, look what happened. We used up all our seconds and minutes. You'll have to guess what's going to happen. Can you come back next week? How about you, sir? Can you come back with your wife? All right, this will be the first stunt. You'll be the first contestants next week. Best of good luck to you at that time. Guess what you're going to have to do. Meantime, this is Bud Collyer speaking for Sylvania, hoping that next time may be your time to beat the clock. Good night, everybody.
Goodson-Todman production, produced in association with the CBS television network. Roxanne John and Larry Aldrich original. Beat the Clock is brought to you by Sylvania. And this is Vern Bennett reminding you to tune in every week at the same time for Beat the Clock.